And now to talk more about the role of Indonesia women and beyond on this Kartini Day, we have in our studio baby Jim Aditya. She's a women activist, and Risa Suseanty. She's a national mountain bike athlete. All right, good evening, ladies. How are you doing?
Hello. We are doing fine.
Good. First of all, happy Kartini Day to all of you.
Thank you.
Happy Kartini to you.
Let's start with you, baby. What does Kartini actually means to you?
Thank you. Of course, she means a lot to us Indonesian women, yeah, because she is like the milestone to many activities of Indonesian women since the day she was born, and we are now enjoying the freedom being women with all of our activities,
Right.
something like that.
And you, Lisa?
For me, I think it's more like thanks to her that actually now there is no more like gender differentiate, that it will be equal between men's and women's. And then as for myself, I came from a sports background, and it's extreme sports where every men's are doing mountain biking. At that time when I race, I even race with the men's because we are lack of Indonesian downhiller in Indonesia that want to do it and want to do it professionally. So thanks to Kartini that we are actually come out from our box,
Right.
and becoming like just want to be like the men, because we as a female we can achieve the same.
And I understand that you're again, you mentioned about sports. I understand that you're a judge in a road cycling competition. Is that
Yes,
right?
I'm actually in the transitions, becoming doing a second career for myself. My background is as a cyclist, been 20 over years in the national team for Indonesia, and I guess now is a time for me to do something else, but at the same time I still can give a feedback about cycling itself. So I want to make cycling in Indonesia grows just like in Europe, and one of them that I choose to be a commissar.
Commissar. And do you have to take any tests in order to be?
Yes, in order to be an international commissars in Indonesia, we do have a female commissars, but we don't have an international commissars yet. And I hope that in few years I can be ready to be a international commissars by doing the tests that conducted by the UCI. And if I pass that one, hopefully I can become an international commissars. And my goal is like doing the Tour de France. And I guess that's pretty much a setup goal. If in a race I want a gold medals, and if doing this commissars, Tour de France is one of them.
Right. And baby, in your opinion, what kind of careers do women in the extreme sports would actually have in the long run?
I think every woman, any woman, could choose anything she wants to be in life, because as the human being, we are born free, right? And we have our own
Path to choose, I guess.
our own path, our own dignity to reach it. So then I think it's okay for everybody to have their own goals, to have their own opinion about their life.
So they have their own freedom to choose their own career as well.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it is our rights, right? It's
It
not
is.
only the men's right, but also the women's right.
Right. And what kind of figures do we need in a modern Kartini, maybe?
I think Indonesia has lots of modern women in their own fields, yeah, to be the inspiration of any other women. I think like our ministry, Ibu Susi, Ibu Sri Mulyani,
There are a lot of ministries at the moment, right?
Yeah. And of course also some of the activists, yeah, women's activists, like our friends in the fields. They are also the fighters for human rights, for women's rights, and for the right things in life, I think.
Now, what are some ways Indonesian women can achieve for themselves? Risa, maybe?
Well, I think we can achieve whatever we want to do in life actually. Basically, you just have to have a right moment, like the right mindset, what you're gonna do. Because we live, I think our culture is still a very traditional way, Japanese way.
Yeah, patriarch.
Very Eastern culture. So if we can come out or step out of the box, I believe Indonesia, we are strong country. We have a strong females also, and by not trying, you will not achieve all that. So I think the first step is just try of what you want to do. Because you will never know whether you'll fall in love with this or not. So the only thing is just to take the first step to actually try.
And now with the with the current condition, how do you guys see the governor's wife as a public figure? I mean, she's have to go through all that.
Well, I guess that must be tough.
Yeah, it's not very easy to be in that position, because everybody will look up to her, and she has to also serve many people in many different activities. It's not easy being herself in that position.
Yeah.
But she's playing the very good role, in her life.
Right.
I think that's very good.
Well, what about you, Risa? What do you
Well,
how do you see her?
I don't know her personally, but I bet every positions, if you are the number one of in Jakarta or in Indonesia, is not an easy task, because everybody will see you. And then with the social media right now, everything always goes viral. So whatever you do, whatever you gonna do, people will judge you, I would say. And I don't think for myself, like, I can be somebody like her in her position. I think it's not really an easy job.
How do you see the equality here in Indonesia?
I think we started to see more female actually doing, just like in the ministry itself, more females doing the men's job.
The men's role.
Although still in the real life, not only in the higher position like that, we
Women
still
will
fight
work.
with women's rights in their wages, in their rights in working fields, and also in the healthcare. We still fight for it, because we see in my field, as a psychologist, as the AIDS activist, we also see now that lots of women are being infected by HIV by their husbands. By their own husbands.
Right. What's the?
It's increasing now.
It's increasing.
Yeah, it's increasing now, and I think it's very serious, because it's also contagious to the children in the family, and they got it from their husbands, because the tradition, the culture makes them to be very faithful to their husbands, but the husbands, because of the education, because of the cultural influence, they are not being faithful to one wife,
one the other.
one woman. So then the virus spreads everywhere.
Out, right. And now, speaking of mention about family, how do you see the women's role in the family currently?
As you know, we are living in the patriarch society, like in Indonesian family. We know that women always
stay home.
Maybe not about staying home. Being the workers outside home, we still carry the double burden in the society. We are doing our job outside the home, but also in the home, we still to handle all those domestic jobs, because our tradition, our culture still make the men didn't handle the domestic works. People will still divide or make it in dichotomy that the public area is the men's area and the domestic is women's area.
But is
it's very difficult.
Right, but is the gender switch currently happening in Indonesia? Like, let's say nowadays that the father would actually taking care of the...
Not every father.
Not every father.
We cannot tell it only by seeing it in the big cities like Jakarta, but we can also see in the big city like Jakarta, we still can find that many women who are working outside the home, they're also going back home. They have to work and handle all those domestic things. So they carry the double burden.
Well, I hope actually with the younger generations that some of us, probably study abroad, and then they really see the different culture. Some of my friends that I knew, they changed already. But even for myself, when my baby is just born, I really want my husband to actually participate on raising the baby, start when they are early age, like taking shower with them and then feeding with the formula and stuff like that, because growing up is not only with the mom, because you
parents,
also have to
parents,
exactly
right?
And I think hopefully for the next generation they will actually think that way, that the role model for to be a parent is not only the wife,
Yeah.
but it's also a man's job.
Right. So now, last question. What is your most memorable moments?
Maybe during my childhood, yeah, the influence of my mother educating me to be the independent woman, not to be depending on others, and try to pursue my own dreams, my own education. It means a lot to me.
Risa?
For me, it's actually every time I sing the national anthem in other countries,
Wow.
which is when I win my medals. You get to sing the Indonesian anthem there, and everybody respect us by standing up, and then really it gives me goosebumps even until now.
Until now.
Even
Very
until now.
Very patriotism.
I am.
Thank you very much, guys.
Yes.